Hi, this is Debbie Gutierrez, founder of the Investigation of Self, and today is my 4th day video blog for my 30-day challenge. It's about 6 p.m. on the 26th. Today I wanted to share this word that I hear as well quite often in the law enforcement community, and it's called tactical compassion. And for me, compassion is not something that you can practice. Compassion is not something you go to school to learn. Compassion is not something you turn on and off. So, I find it quite amazing that as I'm reading about compassion in the law enforcement community, that somehow this is something that has to be learned and studied. Now, when you're able to self-observe, just to get into it just a bit, when you're able to be self-aware and be observant of how you're showing up in the world, right? Compassion is a natural thing that emerges within you, just like to be empathic, right? To show empathy towards another human being, kindness towards another human being. You don't go to school to learn to be kind. You don't go to school to learn how to love. You don't go to school to learn how to be compassion. When you learn what it's not, for instance, when we see all the chaos and turmoil in our society, but when we see it as well in ourselves, when we can actually see it, most of us walk around and we don't see it. And that's why we get spiraled and spinned into so many different directions and feeling as though we're limited on possibilities and growth. When we're able to really see how we're showing up in the world, not everyone else, but how we're showing up in the world, the parts of ourselves that feel anger and pain and jealousy and resentment and competition, all of those qualities, when you're able to see it. Now, seeing means you can, again, be self-observant of those behaviors arising within yourself. When you're so attuned and aware that that's what's coming up, the other naturally comes in. That's not something you have to practice. I don't know if that's really clear, if you're really getting what I'm saying. By knowing what compassion is not intellectually, but really seeing it on a sensory level, seeing it inward in you as, this person that you're showing up in the world and how you're interacting in relationship in the workplace, with your family, and everything, how you're showing up. When you're able to really see that, the other emerges, the other is present. So when you hear people say, we have to be practice tactful compassion, and we have to learn how to be kind to one another. We're hearing that because we haven't really figured out yet what those words really mean. Because when we're able to really study ourselves and self-investigate ourselves and the behaviors and the thoughts that we're having and the emotions and the angers and the frustration and the outlashing every single day, we're really able to see ourselves and how we show up, the other then emerges. So that's not something you say, I'm going to practice. I'm not going to practice to be compassionate. I'm not going to practice to be loving. I'm not going to practice to be kind. When you know anger, fully understand and see your own anger within you, compassion arises. Because now you understand it fully. When we're engaged in verbal war and anger and all these other emotions that surfaces, is because we've yet to understand it fully. It's really it's taken over us completely, And we've never slowed down enough to really be self-observant on what these qualities and sensations and emotions and thoughts and all of the process of thinking and how it's projecting into the world around us. When we take the time to really do that work, the other is naturally there. So you don't have to be loving, you are love. You don't have to practice being compassionate, you naturally are compassion. You don't have to practice, being kind. You're already that. So again, it's by knowing what it's not and diving into it, diving into your anger, diving into your negativity, diving into what is it, this conflict, really self-investigating all those elements. You'll understand what those qualities are at the root level, and the other is a natural presence when you've understood that fully. Okay, so what will you commit to and when? I will leave you with that clue. What will you commit to and when? When will you dive in and see the qualities that are in and how you're showing up in the world? Okay, have a great night, and I will see you tomorrow.